Hello and welcome to Voice It. If you're just joining, this is the second part of the previous conversation that we are having on workforce trends in the fourth industrial revolution. And so right now I want us to talk about the blockchain technology. There's all this talk about blockchain, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, and what have you. So what exactly is blockchain and why is it important right now?
Blockchain, to me, is a big buzzword. To be very clear on that, yeah. Because there's a lot of conversation around blockchain. Obviously, popularized by Bitcoin. I think a lot of guys get mixed up in. There's a difference. Blockchain is a technology. Cryptocurrency just relies on blockchain for its operation, but blockchain is a technology that is behind Bitcoin and the rest. So yeah, there's a difference between cryptocurrency and blockchain. For me, I'm saying blockchain to me is still, and I still believe it is a buzzword. I don't think there is a lot of success in it in the world, not even in Kenya currently.
Just to take you back a bit, you said there's a difference between Bitcoin and blockchain.
Yes.
And you said blockchain is a technology.
Behind
so
it, yeah.
What kind of a technology is it? Could you just help us define it? So
I'm
that
trying to remain
we have
simple as possible, yeah, because blockchain is a technology where trying to get a layman without having to use something that is technical. It's a technology that enables decentralized transactions. What that means is if I do a transaction, then in that network, that transaction is visible by the other members of that network, and not only that, the other, if I can call them nodes, also validate that transaction. I'm not sure whether that's clear enough, but it means that if we are the 3-4 of us in a network, so that for that transaction to go through, all the 4 of us will have to. And once done, then that cannot be reversed. Yeah, that cannot be breached, as opposed to the current structures that we have. And that's why Bitcoin now uses that. And that's why probably if you have followed the cryptocurrency, you hear people talking about mining and things like that. And it's just that in that network, then you have to have a lot of, if I can call them nodes again, validating that particular Bitcoin. So once it's processed, then that's it. It's in existence and it cannot be rolled back. Yeah. And
I like that the aspect that you brought about, that you call it what? I'm forgetting how.
Decentralized.
Yeah, a decentralized system that allows users in a transaction, for lack of a better word, to see the back to end.
Yeah. They can actually.
One of the things that I've seen people say as the advantages of blockchain, is that it enhances trust. And I understand it's a technology actually that is today, dates back to the 90s, and I think the main focus was to ensure that documents that are done online, even if you edit, like you see today, if people run applications online, you can go and edit, but there's a way someone can track that. Is that true? Is that how that is?
Yes, it basically works like that. Because what blockchain, for example, if you look at, if you can stick to crypto, is we keep in our money in banks today. What that means is that we trust a bank as a third party to keep our money. In this case with blockchain, it eliminates, for example, the bank. It means that there is no need of a third party. The reason being for him to edit, then the network validates that transaction, wherever network that is. So for that transaction to go through, the network has okayed it, that yes, this can actually go through, and that's visible to everyone else in that network. So that helps. It basically gets the third parties out of it. And as you say, it's very hard. You cannot, and I think we have places probably where you can use it in Kenya, the lands where probably files keep on missing and guys editing things, and yeah, those are the places where it can be employed, because
and also the same property with
that wouldn't happen with blockchain.
So blockchain is basically a good technology that exists outside the bitcoins.
Yeah. Well, it's popularized by Bitcoin because obviously Bitcoin was popular, became very popular. I'm not a believer in cryptocurrency personally, but yes, that was popularized by Bitcoin.
So how do cryptocurrencies work?
It's virtual currency, and the reason why I bet against them, as I'm saying, is there's no regulation. That's why they keep on fluctuating. For me, it's like more of a commodity because it exists virtually. There is nothing that is not against regulated by any government, any central bank, or anything. This is purely, and before Libra, if you can talk, before Libra, that was anonymous.
Just for purposes of people who might not know what Libra is, maybe we can define that.
It's not different from the other cryptos, still relying on blockchain. The only difference is, I think, the way Facebook has done it. It's crypto, but they want to regulate it. They have I think currently they are about 28 members. They want to get to 100. Visa is there, MasterCard is there, Uber is there, almost everyone is there. They're inviting governments, and they're also saying that it will be measured up against the dollar, the euro. So that regulation now gives it, to me, this could succeed because now there's some regulation and the industry players are in it. But with the Bitcoins and the Ethereums and the Ripples, where today it could be one Bitcoin is $1,000, and in a couple of months it's $20,000, and then again in another 1 month it's back to 5,000. I'm saying, for me, it's more of speculative and a commodity rather than currency.
In case you're hearing a lot of jargons flying around, those are cryptocurrencies, and Libra is a platform that was launched the other day by Facebook, actually last week. It's a cryptocurrency, right?
It is.
Yes. So
not yet. It's still the concept. It will be launched, I think, 2020, probably the second half of 2020. Yeah.
But it also rides on the blockchain technology.
It is blockchain technology. It is blockchain.
I actually understand that the government of Kenya has been mulling over the adoption of blockchain technology. And mark the keywords, as Evans really clarified, there's a difference between blockchain and bitcoins. Bitcoin is a currency, it's a cryptocurrency. Blockchain is the technology. And the government actually even created a task force to establish whether Kenya was ready for a digital currency. And the task force actually recommended that we update, though I know central bank was a bit ish because of the Bitcoin stuff. So do you think it's a technology that we need to adopt? Because again, also James Mwangi, the CEO of Equity Bank, in 2016 he actually said the bank was actually considering adopting blockchain technology, especially for their asset financing. And I think again it comes back to what you were saying, it will be so relevant in Kenya, especially when it comes to land.
Sectors,
and James Mwangi said the product will take off in 3 years. That should be this year. Maybe we need to check how far they've gone with that. So do you think it's a technology that is right for Kenya right now?
Blockchain as a technology, yes, in some sectors, very conservatively, but for cryptocurrency, for me, I think I have a lot of big differences with a lot of my peers when it comes to crypto, because I think we are not right for it, and not just us. I don't think the way it was previously done. I give Libra, probably I think Libra might succeed because of the way they have done it and the regulation in it, but the rest for me is a zero chance. And for Kenya, I don't think we are ready for crypto.
What are your thoughts,
I don't think.
I have very few words on blockchain and the cryptos. And in regards to whether Kenya we are ready for this, I think we have a long way to go. In regards to the financial sector, let's get bank fraud right first. Let's get the legislature right. Let's have a proper legal framework to protect customers and users in general before we even think of blockchain. Because if you look at things like e-commerce fraud, there's still a lot to be done. Like for example, we run a payment gateway. The legislature around chargebacks and fraud at large, it's wanting. and especially from the legal side. We've had cases where money disappears and the bank fraud team, they have no clue of how even a card is processed online. So let's not rush.
But coming back to your task force, yes, I think it was disbanded. It wasn't disbanded. I think they got a new chair last week. Is it this week? Last week. I think the first batch, I think, was supposed to probably lay down the infrastructure and things like. And I think I spoke to one of the guys who was in that task force, and nothing much. I think it's a talk that's welcome. I think they are, what I would call is they're still exploring on what blockchain can do in the industry. But I think for me, is around the world is I think it's more of fear. I don't think sometimes people get in these things because they are seeing there's an impact. No, people are very afraid of being overtaken by technology. So yes, you have to be there. You have to be in that conversation, explore what it can do, because I think that the fear that if it succeeds and we are not part of this, then guys look back and wonder, what are you doing? Exactly. So I think every government, I think around the world, majority are looking at blockchain, but I would think is much more about understanding what it does, if they can regulate it, how they can regulate it. But I don't think there is any government in the world, forget Kenya, that is ready to go crypto. I think even Libra is currently meeting a lot of resistance. Europe, the US has its own reservation, the Reserve Bank of the US. Europe, there are some central banks saying they need to understand what Facebook is trying. So yes, I think it's globally, it's very early probably to say where this is going. Even with Libra, I personally think Libra might succeed because of that regulation bit. But
great. So now, in conclusion, I want you to give us your parting shots and your call to action for the youth of this country, as far as the conversation we've been having goes, taking up opportunities, the digital opportunities that are emerging, and as far as empowering themselves to. Yes. Who wants to start?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Yeah. One, I have two people I want to address. So first, the youth. As much as we say opportunities are available, you need to prep yourself. And then one thing I have learned, personally, I'm very impatient, but patience and persistence will always get you there. It might take 10 years, but as long as there's persistence, through experience, I've learned that opportunities come, and when they come, you better be ready to grab and run away with it. And then secondly, it just came to my mind that probably this is not the right place to say it, but for the government, I think they need to get, because I've just remembered the very bad experience I had with the bank fraud unit, the CID bank fraud unit, when during the processes of running the payment gateway, they need either to build capacity to those old men in that building, or just
give young people who understand that,
or just change the whole team, because you have guys in suits there, they come there in the morning, read the paper, and they have no clue in regards to technology and payments, and they're still stuck to the old poster ways of, sign a book, how did this money move from here to here. So it's really a mess.
Let's hope CS, John Musheru, ICT, and is that interior, docket? I hope they're taking notes.
Yes.
Oh, great.
Maybe the government is above my pay grade. I may not address them. I think for long, probably they don't know the advantages. That there are a lot of advantages that from my time in primary school. To go to a national school, you need lesser marks as a girl. When you go, the same with computer science. I might need an A. You'll need probably lesser than that. So I think the industry is trying to encourage them, and it's time for them to know that they are actually being invited, and nobody's fighting that we're trying to keep the girl. No, it's about them taking up the opportunities, because I think for the last probably 30 years or so, I think those initiatives have been there, but I don't think the ladies have taken full advantages of the doors that have been laid to them in terms of joining. And it's not only IT. I think it applies to many other industries where it's always the girls are being invited, and even lesser qualifications and get involved. And even to us, we try to get them to the job, but there is that. It takes long, because I think our youth think that when you see the cellulans, the crafts, they have taken long to be there. Some of those companies are almost 2 decades old. I think our youth, they want instant gratification.
Now,
we call them the tenders, where yes, I earn this tender and I want it, how much? If it's not, these things take time. And you say we are in our 4th year, and we are not close where we want to be, and it's already our 4th year. So it's just about trusting the process and knowing that it takes time. Just persist and be there.
Great. Well, guys, I hope you've really learned a lot. I've learned so much. The key things that have stood out for me in this conversation: one, guys, you need to be persistent, you need to be patient, and you need to cut down on the instant gratification. Also, for the girls, it's really important for you to step out, venture out. The opportunities, the field has already been created for you. So at least step up and take up these opportunities. So, well, guys, I would like to hear your thoughts and your views regarding the conversation that we were having. If you have any comments regarding blockchain and job opportunities in the 4th industrial revolution, please comment, engage in the comment section below, and let's have this conversation. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and be part of the Voice It Squad.